You're trapped in a story about yourself that just doesn't feel true? That's what the soul of shame is all about. Author Curt Thompson believes that many of us carry around hidden, hurtful narratives that shape how we see ourselves. In this video, we'll break down the book's key points to help you understand shame better. This isn't just about feeling bad about yourself, it's about how these stories can hold us back from living fully. By the end, you'll have a clearer picture of how shame works and maybe even some ideas on how to start healing. Ready to explore the power of rewriting your life story? Join the movement, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video to be part of something bigger than yourself. Chapter 1 is titled, Our Problem with Shame. Curt Thompson discusses the widespread issue of shame in our society. He describes the profound effects of shame on our feelings, ideas, and actions. The important lessons this chapter teaches us are: Number 1, understanding shame. Thompson explains that shame is more than just a feeling of embarrassment or guilt. It's a powerful emotion that can make us feel fundamentally flawed or unworthy. Number 2, shame's impact. Shame can distort our self-perception and lead to negative behaviors. It can cause us to isolate ourselves, become defensive, or even act aggressively to protect our fragile self-esteem. Number 3, the brain and shame. The author discusses how shame affects our brain, triggering responses that reinforce negative patterns of thinking and behavior. This biological aspect shows how deeply shame is ingrained in us. Chapter 2 titled, How Shame Targets the Mind. This chapter covers the complex psychological effects of shame. It clarifies that shame is a strong force that can influence our ideas, beliefs, and mental processes rather than just being a transient emotion. What information does this chapter offer? Number 1, shame and the brain. Thompson explains that shame activates certain neural pathways, creating a feedback loop that reinforces negative thinking. This can lead to persistent feelings of inadequacy and self-criticism. Number 2, cognitive impact. Shame can cause cognitive distortions, where we perceive situations in a biased and negative way. These distortions make it hard to see ourselves and our experiences accurately. Number 3, emotional reactions. Shame triggers strong emotional reactions, such as fear, anger, and sadness. These emotions can overwhelm us and cloud our judgment. The title of Chapter 3, Joy, Shame, and the Brain. The relationship between joy and shame, as well as the neurological effects of these emotions, are examined by the author. He argues that guilt and happiness are intricately entwined in our brain circuitry, affecting our perception of life and interpersonal relationships. These are a few tactics we should learn. Number 1, neural pathways of joy and shame. Thompson explains that joy and shame are processed in similar areas of the brain. Joy activates neural pathways that promote connection and well-being, while shame activates pathways that lead to isolation and negative self-perception. Number 2, the role of relationships. Our relationships play a crucial role in experiencing joy and shame. Positive, affirming interactions can strengthen our sense of joy, while negative, critical interactions can reinforce feelings of shame. Number 3, the healing power of joy. Experiencing joy can counteract the effects of shame. Joyful moments create positive neural connections that help us build resilience against shame. In the title of Chapter 4, The Story of Shame You Are Living, Curt Thompson explains how guilt shapes each person's life story. He goes on to say that the stories we tell ourselves about our identities and abilities are shaped by shame. Our relationships, decisions in life and sense of worth are all impacted by these stories of shame. So, what knowledge does this chapter impact on us? Number 1, identifying shame stories. Thompson highlights the importance of recognizing the stories shaped by shame in our lives. These stories often begin in childhood and are reinforced by experiences and relationships over time. Number 2, impact on self-worth. Shame-filled stories can significantly impact our self-esteem and self-worth. Believing these negative narratives can limit our potential and keep us stuck in self-defeating patterns. Number 3, rewriting our stories. To overcome the power of shame, we need to rewrite our internal narratives. This involves recognizing the lies shame tells us and replacing them with truths about our inherent worth and potential. Chapter 5 is titled, Shame and the Biblical Narrative. This chapter looks at how shame is dealt with in the biblical story. It looks at biblical tales and concepts that highlight shame's existence and effects on the human condition. What details does this chapter provide? Number 1. Shame in the Bible. Thompson explains that the Bible is filled with stories of shame and redemption. Understanding these stories helps us see how shame has been a part of the human condition since the beginning. Number 2. Disconnection and hiding. The story of Adam and Eve highlights how shame causes us to hide and disconnect from others. This disconnection leads to further isolation and reinforces the cycle of shame. Number 3. God's response to shame. Throughout the Bible, God responds to shame with grace and redemption. Understanding this response can help us see that we are not defined by our shame but by our potential for redemption and growth. Chapter 6, titled, Shame's Remedy, Vulnerability. The author examines the idea of vulnerability as the remedy for humiliation. He says that shame feeds on isolation and secrecy and that the only way to overcome its hold is to be vulnerable openly and sincerely. What details does this chapter provide? Number 1. The power of vulnerability. Thompson emphasizes that vulnerability is essential in countering shame. By being open about our struggles and imperfections, we allow others to connect with us on a deeper level. Number 2. Breaking secrecy. Shame flourishes in secrecy. When we keep our shame hidden, it gains strength. Bringing our shame into the light through honest conversations helps diminish its hold on us. Number 3. Creating safe spaces. For vulnerability to be effective, we need safe spaces where we feel accepted and understood. Building such environments in our relationships and communities is crucial for healing. The title of Chapter 7, Our Healing Cloud of Witnesses. Curt Thompson talks about the idea of a cloud of witnesses as a way to overcome shame. Based on the biblical picture found in Hebrews 12 verse 1, Thompson explains how being surrounded by a community of support can help us overcome shame. What does this chapter teach us? Number 1. Importance of community. Thompson emphasizes that healing from shame is not a solitary journey. A supportive community can provide the acceptance and empathy needed to overcome shame. Number 2. Biblical cloud of witnesses. The concept of a cloud of witnesses highlights the importance of having people in our lives who cheer us on and remind us of our worth and potential. Number 3. Active participation. The community should not be passive observers but active participants in our healing process, offering encouragement, sharing their own stories, and providing emotional support. In the title of Chapter 8, Redeeming Shame in Our Nurturing Communities. To overcome shame and redeem oneself, the author examines how supportive groups can be extremely important. He is keen to point out that these kinds of groups intentionally seek to foster settings in which shame is confronted and converted into opportunities for development and recovery. Observations that are important to note in this chapter. Number 1. Characteristics of nurturing communities. Thompson outlines the traits of nurturing communities, including empathy, encouragement, and open communication. These communities help individuals feel valued and supported, reducing the impact of shame. Number 2. Creating safe spaces. To effectively redeem shame, communities must create safe spaces where individuals can openly discuss their struggles without fear of judgment. This openness fosters trust and connection. Number 3. Transformative power of support. Supportive communities have the power to transform shame into growth. When people are surrounded by understanding and encouragement, they are more likely to overcome shame and embrace their potential. Chapter 9 is titled, Renewing Vocational Creativity. This chapter discusses how our creative expression in the workplace is affected by shame and how reviving this creativity can help us overcome shame. It contends that shame frequently prevents us from giving our all to our jobs and passions. What insights does this chapter provide? Number 1. Impact of shame on creativity. Thompson explains that shame can limit our creative expression and make us hesitant to fully engage with our work. Recognizing this impact is the first step in overcoming it. Number 2. Reconnecting with passions. To renew our vocational creativity, we need to reconnect with the passions and interests that initially drew us to our field. Engaging in projects that excite us can reignite our creative spark. Number 3. Support systems. Having a supportive network, including mentors and peers, can help us navigate periods of creative drought and shame. Their encouragement and feedback can be crucial in helping us regain confidence. Recognizing guilt is the first step in conquering it. Rewriting the narrative you tell yourself is the goal. So, consider your own story for a while. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.